Hi, everyone. I would like to welcome you all for dicomLAB Platform 3.0 webinar. I welcome all live participants and also the ones who will watch this video after from recording. I would like to please ask everybody to mute your microphones. So in this video, I'm going to talk about our latest release, our latest software update, which is kind of a big deal at dicomLAB's life because we are super proud to announce that we are going to show you the world's first completely web-based treatment planning software, which is not only a viewer, but also a planning software as a whole. For the ones who were using our previous system or the previous generation of the system, it's going to be a major change since now the new software is opening up in the cloud environment, which you were using. And I'm going to show you some details and all specifications of this software. So some general informations at the beginning. In the launch date of the new version of the software was happening this Monday, so 2 days ago, in Western Europe. We are over 1 year beta testing, which was with a superb success. So basically, it's safe to say that it works very well, and you are not the first ones who will try it out. And we are very, very proud to announce that we received the MDR certification over a year ago, and we are also seeking for FDA approval for the US market. With the launch date, what you will see now is that when you open your previous cases, it will still open in the old version of the software, which is like a downloadable software on your computer. The launch date, which is this Monday, means that all the cases, what you upload to this platform since Monday midnight, will open in the new software version, which I will present to you soon. Of course, all your previous cases you can find in the cloud platform, and the previous cases will still continue to open in the old version of the software. So don't be afraid, you will see all your previous cases. The only thing is that you need your old computer or your other computer where that software is running in order to open them. Does it run on Mac? Simple answer, yes. It runs in a browser. So it's even better. It basically runs on everything. What we suggest is download Google Chrome. It's optimized for Google Chrome, but it also runs on Microsoft Edge or on Safari browsers, but it's optimized and the best user experience is on Google Chrome. So we highly recommend to download that and use our software system on Google Chrome platform. Generally, it also runs on a Mac. It also runs on an iPad, for example, but it even runs on a mobile device, which is not older than 2 or 3 years. So it's a very, very accessible and easy to use system from this point. I'm going to show you the software in a minute, and I'm going to show you some basic information about the software, some basic planning functions, and what is the difference between the old and the new version. And I will also show you how to save and order cases and how to proceed to the surgical guide order functions in case you want to do guided surgery. So let me now switch to the platform itself. As you see here, this is the entrance of our system. There's nothing new here compared to the previous system since we migrated everything to the cloud a couple of years ago. So you are all familiar with this part of the system. And once you signed in, you see this very, very simple dashboard. There's also nothing new here. And if you click to implantology, you see your cases. Here I would like to highlight that at each and every patient card, you have a little tag which is showing you which software version that case is prepared with. So basically from this Monday, all your new cases will get this version 3.0 tag, which means that it opens in the new web-based treatment planning platform. If I go scroll down to older versions, then you can see that it's with the version 2.0. It's a gray tag. There, you know that if I click this one and I want to open it up, I would need my old software version, which is installed on my computer. So now, since we are here, let's open up the software. So I click on a demo case, which is prepared with the new version. And here the biggest change is what you see, that instead of download plan, it's edit plan button. So this is also another trick or another hint how you can see that this version is using the new software. So if I click edit plan, it opens up in the new version of the software. But before that, you can see that on top of every case, you can read the user manual. At the first time, so with the first opening of the new software, you have to scroll through the user manual. I really suggest to quickly run through it. But if you find it too long, then there's also a quick tour, which is basically simplifying and gathering all the important information for treatment planning and how to use it. Since you are familiar with our old version of the software, I think you will be pretty quickly find yourself around in the new version of the software. So once you read the user manual, it won't open again. You can always open it whenever you want, but then it will disappear. And then from the second case on, you will be able to just hit edit plan button the same way how I do it now. Immediately what you see here is that it's super fast. Basically, it loads any case in seconds. Sometimes 2-3 seconds is also enough, of course, depending on the size of the case. But this is now a real demo case, what I'm showing you. So this like 3-4 seconds of opening up was absolutely general. Here at the first window, what you see is your chat history. So if you were talking with our service center or with a mentor doctor, or if you had any discussion or any uploaded images or anything regarding this case, it will all open up here on the right side of this window. And on the left side, you see the general information of the case. If I say OK, then you immediately see that, of course, the colors and the buttons are a little bit different, and maybe some things are slightly different than the previous software. But we tried to keep the main architecture and the main logic of our previous system, since we had great feedbacks of the ease of use already from that platform. So what you see here, you have the 3D view, which is the biggest view. And we believe that it also helps patient communication and showcasing your case, and also understanding the prosthetic needs and the whole treatment plan with this beautiful 3D visualization. Here on the right lower corner, you see the panoramic view. And on the left, I can also see the cross-section view. And as you can see here, this line on the panoramic view is represented as a rectangle on the 3D view, and that is projected in the 2D, basically planning window. The way how you see this case now, and this is more of an information for someone who didn't use our previous system or didn't see dicomLAB services and dicomLAB technology before, we automatically prepare all cases. So once you uploaded the raw data to our cloud-based platform, our service team is preparing these images. They are quality checking it, they are registering it, they are coloring it and drawing it up in this way. They are also setting the right planes and the planning arch for you. So it really gives you an ease of user experience, since you upload raw images to our system, and this is how you open it up completely ready for treatment planning. Now let's talk about these windows a little bit. So I can make all the windows bigger or smaller. Please note that if I make this, for example, the panoramic view bigger, then I also have the grayscale available, and also the parallel tool, which is then visible. If I put it smaller, then these two functions are disappearing, but it's always there. It's the same thing with the cross-section or the planning view. I can make it smaller. I will show you the functionalities still available when implants are placed in. If I make it smaller, maybe then this is the best way to check the 3D view or to showcase it to your patient. If I make it bigger, then I have the planning options on this view. Let's talk about a little bit about the mouse controls. You don't need any keyboard functions here. So you only control the software with the mouse buttons. Very, very simple logic. The right button is rotating the 3D view, and it will also rotate the 2D view. The left mouse button is dragging the 3D view, and with the left mouse button, of course, you can also do different operations and press the buttons. And with the scroll, you can zoom. So basically, it's like very, very simple user experience, only using one mouse and the 3 buttons of it. So the logic of the software didn't change from the previous one. So it's the same thing. I have to drag this line or this cross section at the panoramic window, and maybe you don't see it that well in this webinar, but you will see it in the recorded videos and also live on your patients. That wherever I drag it, it's super smooth. It's very, very simple, and you can really easily navigate through these cross sections. Also note that this cross-section view is preset for you. So this green line is always going perpendicular to the dental arch. So you also always see a clear or vestibular view here on the planning window. I can also click to the region of interest, and then it jumps there. So it's not only drag, but also works with a click. So now let's come here to this cross-section where I want to place an implant. Now you can see that I see this cross-section exactly where I'm standing at the panoramic view. And once I'm here, you can see that this is the cross-section of the bone, this is the cross-section of the nerve, this is the cross-section of the gum. We also color it pink, that it's easier to understand where I'm looking at. And you can also see the cross-section of the planned prosthetic element. So now once I'm here, this is a slight change from the previous software. So I think this will be probably the biggest change for you in terms of control buttons. I have to click to this plus, add implant or pin button, and then it comes up if I want to add a pin or if I want to add an implant. Super simple. I click add the implant, and then it throws in a standard size universal shape implant. Of course, it also depends on what is your preset surgical kit and what is your preset implant type. What would you like to visualize here? So with this implant placed here, you immediately see these green control buttons. Nothing new here compared to the previous system. So with the middle button, I can drag it around and I can move it around. It also, you can see that we have the same types of warnings integrated. With the buttons further away, you can set the angulation of the implant, and the angulation is immediately then visualized around that circle. So it makes it super simple, for example, to plan or makes your life easier to plan, for example, a tilted implant, tilted abutment for a classic all-on-4, all-on-6 case. Once I'm okay with the implant position, I can also set the diameter in 1/10 of millimeters, the length in 1/2 of millimeters. There's also nothing new here compared to the previous system. And we also have the really beloved orovestibular and mesiodistal buttons, which is then immediately changing the view in these 2 most important visualizations. It's always the implant's angle, which is the center of the rotation. And I can also rotate with the right button. So if I click right and I don't let it go and I go left and right, then you can see that this view is rotating through the axis of the implant itself. Wherever I leave it, If I click orovestibular or mesiodistal, it jumps back to these planes. So now let's go back to mesiodistal. This is the plane I want to adjust my implant position now, or implant angulation now. So I think this is now a correct implant position also in mesiodistal view. I go back to orovestibular, and I think I'm happy already with this treatment plan. The good news is we also integrated a number of implant types. Okay, so if you click this implant button, or if you double click the implant itself, then you can also, you see this implant manufacturer, now it's set to universal, but you can choose between a number of implant systems. And if I click a random implant system, then you can see that also the types of the implants are integrated, also the type of platforms, and all the sizes and color codes and everything accordingly. So you can also set the different implant types here, and you also see what type of sleeves and what type of drill length you have to use. If I say okay, then that implant visualization is done here. And with a double click, I can always change this. What I can also do is I can set the type of the surgical trays. Now this is a partial sequence tray, but I can also say full sequence. I can also change it to any other implant systems, full sequence kit. Then of course the implant manufacturer itself is set as a default, and I can also set the implant family's type. And if I say okay, then everything is recalculated to that sleeve positioning, that surgical kit, that surgical protocol, and that implant type. So now let's go back to the partial sequence and universal. Okay, and let's go through some other interesting features of the software, or which is different to the previous one. We also integrated a measurement tool. If I click on that, then I can, with one click and with another click, I can very simple measure basically distances. It's super useful if, for example, I want to measure anything, related to my treatment plan. I can also make screenshots like this. It stays there. And the other tool which came back is the angle measurement tool. It works with very, very similar logic. So I click again, and before the third click, I can see that this measurement tool is measuring my angle, and then you can see the result there. You can also get rid of it with another click on this icon. I have the undo button and the redo button, so whatever you do, you can always go back. Don't worry about messing things up because you always have the option to go back. And you can also see that you also have the grayscale here. And if I make this button smaller, then I also have the threshold button for the 3D view as well. But once again, everything is preset for you, so it's super simple to start planning immediately. Here on the right side, there are two other important buttons, I would say, in the middle. One is the information button. You can always go back to the chat window and to the other important information on your case. And there's also this layer view and layer window. So I can always go here and click the different layers in and out, of course, depending on what you want to visualize, what would you like to show your patient, or what is helpful for your treatment planning. The upper buttons, these ones are basically very, very simple buttons for going forward from your treatment plan. From top to bottom, I have the X button, which is closing the case. Don't worry to click it. If you click it, it will always ask you if you want to really close it or save and close the case. So if I click close, then it will just close it without saving. If I click save and close, then it will close it with saving the implant positions, pin positions, everything. And if I just click this X, then it disappears. Then it works as if I would never click this X button. This orange is requesting mentor planning. This is, you all know, we have a mentor plan network. So if you want to have a treatment plan by a mentor doctor, you can always ask it here. Or let's say if you plan the treatment, but you want to have a second opinion, you just click it, and then you can write anything here to the mentor. Hey, please check this implant position if you're happy with it. Or hey, doctor, I planned the implant positions, but I'm not familiar with planning the pin positions. Please help in that. Or you can also just send a completely empty case. Of course, it really helps the mentor doctor if you write comments, if you really add some professional inputs, how you would like to see your case. With the green button, you can finish planning and go forward. I will show you in a minute. And with this save button, I can just click it, and then it immediately saves it in the cloud. So once I close it, it opens up like this. So that's like a quick save button whenever you feel that you want to have this case saved. So let's go through the green button, which is finish planning. It will be super simple. Once I finish planning and I say okay, then you can see that it closed. So now I can only view it. And then this is a demo case, but in a real case, here would be a button with proceeding to ordering this case itself. And from that point, there's nothing new. Basically, it's the e-commerce checkout, which you also had with the previous software. So from that point, you can choose if you want to have this surgical guide in STL, or you want to have it as a finished product in the box shipped to your doorsteps. You can also choose different types of other products from our web shop, and then you can pay same way how you paid so far. With each and every case, we also have this case messaging here, so you can always write anything here, and then it immediately goes to our service team, and they will help, they will chat with you, and they will make your life easier. Okay, so this is basically the difference between the previous and the current software. We are very, very enthusiastic and happy to show it to you and to listen to your feedbacks. So from this moment, whatever you upload, it will open in your new software. If you have any questions, maybe check this video or check the video which is integrated at the software opening part, or also feel free to reach out to us, and we are super happy to help in any technical issues or questions. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm also happy to gather all questions later and answer it to you personally. Thank you very much, and we are very looking forward to receiving your cases with this new system.